Let's start with a truth that might feel a little uncomfortable. We all have flaws. Yep, every single one of us. And I know that might make you want to cringe or run away because society has trained us to see flaws as bad, as things we need to hide, fix, or apologize for. But what if I told you that your flaws, those quirks, imperfections, and so-called messy parts of you, aren't things to be ashamed of? What if instead, they're what make you you? Today, we're going to talk about what it really means to accept your flaws. Not just tolerate them, but truly embrace them. Because here's the thing. Accepting your flaws isn't about settling. It's about setting yourself free. 1. Why flaws feel so hard to accept. Let's be real. Accepting your flaws is easier said than done. Why? Because we're constantly surrounded by messages telling us we're not enough. From perfectly edited Instagram posts to commercials selling us the next product to fix ourselves, it's easy to believe that our worth is tied to being flawless. And if that's not enough, we've got our inner critic, the one that points out every mistake, every shortcoming, every little thing we wish we could change. That voice can be loud, can't it? But here's the truth about flaws. They're part of what makes you human. And being human is messy and imperfect by design. I used to be obsessed with fixing my flaws. I'd overthink every little thing. My crooked smile, the way I stuttered when I was nervous, the fact that I wasn't always as organized or disciplined as I wanted to be. I thought if I could just fix those parts of myself, then I'd finally feel worthy. Then I'd finally be lovable. But here's what actually happened. The more I tried to fix myself, the more disconnected I felt from who I really was. It was like I was constantly editing myself, trying to present a version of me that wasn't even real. And it was exhausting. It wasn't until I started to lean into those flaws, to stop fighting them and start listening to them, that I began to understand myself in a deeper way. 2. Reframing what flaws mean. Here's a radical idea. What if flaws aren't the bad guys we think they are? Think about it. Some of the things we call flaws are just differences. Maybe you're sensitive. Maybe you're not great at small talk. Maybe you're a little scatterbrained. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means you're wired a little differently than someone else. And even the flaws that feel more challenging, the ones that cause real struggles, can teach us something. They can show us where we need to grow, or where we need more compassion, or where we need to let go of perfection. Flaws aren't failures. They're just part of the story. And the story is what makes you real. 3. How to truly accept your flaws. Okay, so let's talk about what it actually looks like to accept your flaws. This isn't about pretending they don't exist or giving up on personal growth. It's about making peace with the parts of yourself that don't fit into society's idea of perfect. Step 1. Get curious. The first step is to get curious about your flaws. Instead of immediately judging them, ask yourself, why does this bother me? Where does this belief come from? Sometimes our discomfort with our flaws comes from other people's opinions, not our own. Getting curious helps you untangle what's really yours from what you've just absorbed over time. Step 2. Talk to yourself like a friend. Think about how you'd talk to a friend who's feeling insecure about their flaws. Would you criticize them? Would you tear them down? Of course not. So why do we do that to ourselves? The next time your inner critic starts picking you apart, pause. Take a deep breath. And try responding with kindness instead. Say something like, I'm allowed to be imperfect. I'm still worthy. Step 3. Find the beauty in the flaws. Some of the most beautiful things in life are imperfect. Think about your favorite people, their quirks, their little flaws. Aren't those the things that make them lovable? The same goes for you. Your flaws might be the very things that make you relatable, unique, and real. Step 4. Own it. There's something powerful about owning your flaws, not hiding them, not apologizing for them. Just saying, yeah, this is part of who I am. When you own your flaws, you take away their power to make you feel small. You show the world, and yourself, that you don't have to be perfect to be proud of who you are. 4. What happens when you accept your flaws? When you truly accept your flaws, something amazing happens. You stop wasting energy on trying to hide or fix yourself. You start focusing on what really matters: your passions, your relationships, your growth. You become more compassionate, not just with yourself, but with others. Because when you embrace your own imperfections, it's easier to see and celebrate the humanity in everyone else. And most importantly, you free yourself from the impossible standard of perfection. 5. The freedom of acceptance. Here's the thing: accepting your flaws doesn't mean you'll never feel insecure again. You're human. There will still be moments when you wish you could change something about yourself, but those moments won't define you anymore. When you accept your flaws, you step into your full humanity, the messy, beautiful, imperfect truth of who you are. And that truth? It's enough. So here's my challenge for you. Take one small step toward accepting your flaws today. Maybe it's writing down something you love about yourself, flaws and all. Maybe it's looking in the mirror and saying, "I'm enough, just as I am." Whatever it is, remember this: you are so much more than your flaws. You are whole, worthy, and beautiful, not in spite of your imperfections, but because of them. If this resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's one flaw you're learning to accept? Share it in the comments. I'd love to celebrate it with you. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who might need a reminder that they're enough, just as they are. Your flaws don't define you. Your heart, your kindness, your courage, that's what makes you who you are. And that's more than enough.